Hey, and we're back. Season 3, Episode 2 of Fairway Conversations. Gabriel, my man, looking good over there. How
Thank
are you
you.
doing today?
Feeling good. I'm actually feeling a little upset right now.
Oh, you're upset? Why?
I'm
What's
upset.
going on?
You know, Coach Joe.
Okay.
Okay. Coach Joe texted me.
Okay.
When was this? This was Sunday.
Okay.
So I'm sure he had already seen the podcast or he's seen my videos. He said, "Are you going to shave that nasty beard off before you get married? Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark." I was like, "What?" I said, "You don't like it?" He said, "It's rough, man." So, Coach Joe, if you're listening to this, whatever, man.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely see you tightening it up there just a little bit before you get
Yeah.
married. You know, just
Yeah.
let it go and be what it's going to be. Let it eat.
Well, I'll take off my headphones or I'll take off this one. I got a haircut today. Okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I was in that weird in between stage, and now that we're on YouTube, people can watch it too.
Yeah.
I was in that weird in between stage of when to get the haircut and when not to get the haircut. If I got it here, it'd be too early. If I got it here, it'd be too late, and I didn't want to spend two haircut monies when they're too close together.
Yeah.
You
Man.
know what I'm saying here. So as far as the beard goes, it's getting trimmed tonight. I have let it go way longer than it's supposed to. I trimmed up the mustache this afternoon because it was bothering me so much. So believe me, Coach Joe, I know. I promise. It's just weird timing. So I just want to acknowledge Coach Joe there for a second.
It's so funny you said that about the haircut because I got a haircut today too. And it was the same thing. Like you kind of get caught in that in between time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just like, I feel like I got a hair helmet like going on and I got to put more product in it to control it. And, and it's just like every night when I was taking a shower, once I get past, like 5 or 6 days, my hair starts to grow out pretty quick. So once I get past like 5 or 6 days, it's feeling like grimy and I really have like no style with it at all whatsoever. It's either off to the side or kind of comb to the front, try to give a little bit of texture, give a little bit different look. But man, it's just like, it just feels like kind of just grimy because it's so long,
About you, but like I feel like when I get the longer hair, it adds like weight in my face. Yeah. And the beard too. And I don't like that. So I know, you know what I mean? But.
Yeah. Very cool. Also shout out, like one of my other buddies, Kevin, what's up, my man? He was asking me, and we'll get into it here in a few minutes, but he was like, "Hey, I saw your kid challenge you with the running thing." Yep. And then I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, and he was asking me, "How's the podcast going?" Saw him out and about. He lives here in town as well. We grew up together. We played baseball together.
Cool.
He was a freaking badass baseball player, played shortstop, good all around athlete. He's a golfer now too. And a long time ago, he used to throw horseshoes. And
really,
yeah, we used to go see him in competition, throwing horseshoes. And he was like world ranked horseshoe player as well. But, it was kind of cool because every summer, we were like best friends for about 3 or 4 years, especially on the baseball team and stuff. And then we remained friends, but just kind of, he went to a different school, I went to a different school, type of thing. But man, we used to ride our bikes all over Fontana when it really was Fontucky. Not how it is now, but when it really used to be Fontucky, we used to ride our bike everywhere. And then I remember his dad used to get upset with him because all we wanted to do was play wiffle ball in the backyard. And he'd always be like, "Oh, that's going to mess up your arm. That's going to mess up how you're pitching."
Yeah.
All that stuff. So, but all we wanted to do was like ride our bikes, go down to 7-Eleven, grab a Slurpee and like play freaking wiffle ball like all summer long. And then come home when it got dark. That's what we did. Like I grew up in small town USA when Fontana was small town USA.
Yeah.
So definitely not that way anymore. And though I have love for Fontana, do I really want to live there? No, I don't.
No. Be careful. We might have some Fontana folk that listen.
Yeah, for sure. That's why I said I still got love for Fontana, man. It was it's where I grew up at. But shout out to Kevin too.
Kevin, where does he live now?
He lives here in Yucaipa.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
What flavor Slurpee would you get back in the day?
Oh, dude, I think I love cherry Coke, so it's still that cherry and Coke flavored mixed together, man.
Man, we might have to get after Hyrox on Sunday. We might have to stop by. Definitely, going to stop by In-N-Out. We're going to grab it. It'll be fast. Get me out of the airport, so it'll be good.
All right,
But
sounds good. We'll
I have to
definitely do
meet.
some of those
I
things.
have to meet with Kevin and play golf with him. That sounds fun.
Yeah, man. He and I've been trying to link up. We've been talking about it. He has certain days off that don't quite match up with my days off, but it sounds like he's playing on Sundays now a little bit more. So
Mm-hmm.
we're definitely going to go out there and try to swing it. And my understanding was kind of telling me, um, I think he's like a 3 handicap, so
Oh wow,
he's a good player. I think if I remember
stick.
correctly, his early 20s, he was trying to make it like as a pro.
Mm-hmm.
So coming out of high school, not sure exactly what happened with baseball, but I'm sure once we get on the golf course, I'll ask him all that stuff. But yeah, I mean,
He's got the game.
he definitely does have the game. And like I said, man, he was a badass athlete and one of those dudes that just like exude confidence when he was out there playing. And
Mm-hmm.
you knew he was a dope ass player, right?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what I'm talking about?
Especially in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball,
Mm-hmm.
that swag
Yeah, man.
that you have out there, you can tell it's all over a player's demeanor and their
Yeah.
confidence and how they just walk, and
Yeah.
you know when it's real and you know when it's not. So
Yeah,
that's
man.
cool.
I know it from, not trying to, blow my own horn or anything, but I know it from
Mm-hmm.
football, man. Like I just, you know what I mean? It's just like
Mm-hmm.
me on that style as a football player. Like I was a good baseball player for sure, but me, that's how I was in football. Like
Mm-hmm.
nobody could shut me down was like always the feeling that was like in my head, like
Yep.
as a quarterback and stuff. Nobody was going to stop me. Nobody was going to, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm only going to
Yep.
stop myself. Yeah.
Yep.
So I definitely understand that feeling, but,
No doubt.
yeah, man. So we're getting together and I'm getting ready to see you here pretty quick, within a couple of days. I think we're going
Mm-hmm.
to end up making this episode like a part 1 and a part 2 again, kind of putting
Mm-hmm.
that stuff together, kind of like what we did during the summer with the competitions, but
Mm-hmm.
we're getting ready to go to Hyrox. And how
Yep.
are you feeling?
Man, I was pissed off earlier this week
Mm-hmm.
because so I'm new to the endurance world. Hyrox is an endurance sport. I'm newer still. I say newer. I've been doing this change of lifestyle since September, October ish, and I'm new to what's called a taper. Okay, so I did that doubles event in Dallas with Isaiah, and we did like a 2 week taper, which is basically where you're training super hard up until a certain point, and then you really lower the volume a ton to be able to let your body recover and let it get to optimal level. And last time I felt like that was too long. Well, this time I told Austin, I was like, let's do like a 10-day taper, like even less.
Yeah.
And it was, and that's fine. But my recovery on my whoop was horrible. My HRV was horrible. And I'm literally lowering the volume, not working out as hard. And my sleep was average at best. Like it was just making me upset. So I haven't looked at my whoop scores in the past 3 days.
Yeah.
So I'm still wearing it because I'm going to track the data. I'm going to
Yeah.
look at it after High Rocks.
Yeah.
But and then it was 2 days ago. I decided I was like, all right, I'm done letting that bother me. I'm just gonna go off feel. And I was listening to a podcast that talks about High Rocks a lot, and they were saying, you got to let go of like the last hard session you do before you do High Rocks. It's not gonna make you do it better. He said
Yeah.
all the training came weeks and months before you actually did it.
Yeah.
So that made me feel so much better. It was kind of like kind of like my shoulders finally like were let go, and I'm like, you're right. Like everything I've done, it's already done.
Yeah.
It's
It's
done.
into the muscle memory now, right?
Yeah, man. Like
Yeah.
all the training's done. Everything, at the end of the day, this is a baseline. It's the first time I'm doing it by myself, and I have intent to keep doing it and put it on the calendar and keep challenging myself and get better. So that's a long answer for how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
That's just kind of I wanted to get it out there. That's where it all kind of sits right now.
Yeah, man. It kind of goes back to baseball, right? We
Mm-hmm.
would, especially when you played for me and I was your coach, I would always bring in like all of these specialty coaches that really knew what they were doing, right? Like Coach
Mm-hmm.
Joe or whatever, or Coach Adrian, and bring in people that knew something specific about the sport. And I always coached defense and
Mm-hmm.
I coached the mental stuff, right?
Yep.
And I think that's why, like, when we're talking and stuff, a lot of that stuff, like, I get so excited because it feels like the stuff that I taught you a long time ago, like you're saying it back to me, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like it feels, kind of brand new, but also it triggers like so many memories.
Yeah.
But we would always practice like so hard and just repeat, repeat, repeat. And we were just like, whether we practice like running out onto the field, oh, somebody lollygagged behind. Well, bring
Yeah.
everybody back. Let's do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Even like when you're younger, we did also we practiced our warm up routine because we wanted to look
Yes.
like we were unbeatable to the other team
Mm-hmm.
before we went out there, and we would spend a practice just working on warm up routine. Everybody come
Mm-hmm.
back in, so it's just kind of that thing of like the reason why I always taught it like that though too is because that always led to the muscle memory, so that when you got into the actual competition, you've already done all the work. Right
Mm-hmm.
now it's time to have fun. Now it's time to just play the game. And when you get into those critical situations, or like Hyrox, that one or two last reps that you really need to dig deep, you've already done the
Mm-hmm.
work to dig deep. Right,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's there for you, ready to go. So I'm excited to be there, to be in that environment, to see what's going on. I'm excited to be there to support you, and
Mm-hmm.
and just watch you do your thing, like, and do your
Yeah.
best.
There's two big nuggets I just took away from what you just said. We'll start with yours first. Uh, the practicing the warm up.
Mm-hmm.
I would honestly think that at such a young age doing the little things correctly is what led to doing the little things correctly nowadays.
Yeah.
And I would hope that a lot of the teammates that I had, they felt that, and that they incorporate that into their daily lives today. And I think that's so important because it's those little things that really make a difference. Number two, God rest his soul, Coach Adrian. I remember perfect, or what did he say? He said, practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent.
Perfect. Yes.
Perfect practice makes perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So there is intent behind what we do, right?
Yes.
I'm going to go out there, I'm going to have fun, but I promise you, I've given intent into these workouts. I've worked hard, and I'm ready to see where I go and see what happens, and to get after it and see where the cards lay. And when I say that, I mean, what's the time that I end up with?
Yeah.
I'm not going to put pressure on, oh, I have to get this time. I'm just like, no, I'm going to get after it. I'm going to see what I got, and then we'll improve from there.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to just go out there and do it. I'm excited to see you. I know we got several fan members. I know Robbie's, I go on Sunday at 9:00 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Robbie goes on Saturday night, I believe at 7:30, something
Okay.
like that.
Yep.
And then you'll be there, obviously. I think my sissy and Uncle D are going to be there.
Yep.
Is Pop going to be there?
No, they're not gonna be able to make it out after
Okay.
all. Yeah, they
Gotcha.
they talked to me the other day, and they've got Pop's getting ready for retirement,
Yeah,
and so I think they've got a couple of meetings that are setting up for the retirement stuff and the financial stuff, and it's like
I
it's gonna
see.
be tied up against it. So
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, they're not gonna be able to make it, but they were like wanting to be there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And so
it's all good. It's all
yeah,
good. We'll have more opportunities. But I'm excited for everyone who's going to be there to be there. So I'm excited to see you, and it's going to be a quick turnaround. Like I land at like 9:15 on Saturday morning,
hmm
and we'll take the day, go watch Robbie in the evening, go to sleep. I don't know. You might go to Robbie's after party and hang out. I'll probably just walk to the hotel and try to get some sleep if I can,
yeah,
and then I leave Sunday afternoon at like 1:30, I think my flight is. So we'll have to just compete. Maybe that'll be my incentive to go faster. Is I'm like, hey, I got to get to my flight. I
hey,
want to make sure I get in and out before I get on my flight.
yeah, for sure, for sure. We can always make that happen, though, my man.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. But
So, oh
that's
man.
that's all we've got right now for Hyrox. I think my question, and then also what I've been working on is I've been doing vlogs, and I
hmm
started a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about
I
that.
Yeah, so I got a really cool camera. We can see it right here. It's called the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. Don't ask the price. Um, Really cool camera. A lot of like vlogging people on YouTube use it, all that stuff. And I got comfortable doing the camera stuff.
hmm
Whether it be on the golf course when we were doing some TikToks, doing little Saturday vlogs. So, but I didn't want to put all this pressure to be like, oh, I have to jam in, every single day a content so that way I can, hey, this is my Wednesday, here's my Thursday, Friday. No. So I just go day by day.
Yeah.
I told Lauren, like, I think it was last week, I was like, Lauren, I just don't feel creative today. I was like, I don't want to do this. She goes, then don't. I'm like, Yeah, I won't. So I think I like got like one clip and then I was like, I let it go. And then
Hmm.
the whole rest of the week, I felt like my mind was just like, yeah, let's do this, like get this angle. And I'm learning new things. It's been really fun. It's kind of like a little hobby instead of like doom scrolling or sitting on social media forever.
Yeah.
I kind of, I mess around and edit those videos, right?
Yeah.
It's really cool. I enjoy it. So check it out. YouTube at Gabriel Jacobo Jr. So
And it it's come out so good. Like,
thank you.
the first couple of vlogs that you've done, I've really enjoyed them. I was actually on the treadmill on the last one. Like I watched a portion of it coming over, and then I was like, oh shoot, I got to go back to it.
Hmm.
And the next day I'm like, no, I'm putting Gabriel's vlog up on the treadmill, like on my iPad when I'm running and stuff. Dude, your freaking opening is awesome. Like the
Shout out
titles, and
Lauren.
oh my gosh, that I need y'all to help me with that, with my little
Yes.
vlogs that I'm starting to do and stuff like that. And it's probably going to be more on the shorts for
Hmm.
me on the short vlogs, but I do need like I think it would be great if we can get with Lauren and like her actually put together the opening for Fairway
Yes,
Conversations. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
That
She
would be
likes to do
really
that
sick.
stuff.
Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
did it. She was doing homework one afternoon and I remember like I just like looked over her and she was dialed in. I'm like, she's not doing homework. I was like, I know she's working on my thing. She was like, doing all this stuff. She wouldn't talk to me.
Yeah.
And then when it was all done, she was like smiling. She like shoved it in my face. And
Yeah.
I was like,
I
how is that so good?
I can imagine her like eyes get all big and she's like working away there and
Yes,
stuff like that, like a
yes.
little mad chemist, like
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
putting it together.
So cute. It was so
So
fun.
yeah,
But
but I mean, because we're this year on season 3, like we're really pushing to get these videos like onto YouTube as
yes.
well. So if we can put together that opening title sequence, that would be
Hmm.
pretty sick. And
Yeah.
I am working on a couple of trying to land a couple new sponsors, golf related sponsors or
Very
fitness
cool.
related sponsors or something like that to help
Hmm.
to be a part of the program as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. It's a marathon, and I think what I've taken away over these last 6 to 7 months is we just gotta. I don't have any expectations on it. I'm just having fun. Like I enjoy doing this. I enjoy having this conversation with you. I enjoy doing the camera. I enjoy training. I enjoy golfing. Like all these things are enjoyable. They don't feel like a job to me, and I don't
Yeah.
ever want it to feel that way. If at some point there's something great that happens, oh, you do get paid for it, cool. But like that's not. I just enjoy doing this, so it's fun. But enough about what I'm doing. I laid a challenge on you
Uh-oh.
last episode. Okay,
Hmm.
so you were gonna pick and I don't think you would have picked one yet because it's 6 months down the line, but 5 months. You're gonna pick a date in June to run a 5K outside at a real event. So how's it going? Have you made any strides towards everything? Kind of lay it out for us.
Okay, so a couple of things. Number one, I didn't go over to I didn't go over to the running store to get shoes, but I
Mm-hmm.
did put in talk with Chat GPT,
Mm-hmm.
and I
Okay.
asked them to lay out, you know, give me 5 running and training shoes to use. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, I love Nike, and so I got the Nike Pegasus. So those came in. I
Those are cool.
freaking love them, man. As soon as
Mm-hmm.
like they just feel awesome. Like when I'm on the treadmill and I'm running, and then I come in and like my workouts right now are a little bit more. It is strength training, but there's a little bit of hit involved and stuff like that. Just the pressure, it's like taking off. It feels so great, to have
Amazing.
that. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So um, just because I wanted to try them out. Like I haven't really worn like true running shoes in a while, and I came
Mm-hmm.
across a Nike Pegasus, and they're rated pretty high. And I found a pair that was like on sale. That was a really great price. I said, well, I mean,
I want a pair. Those things are
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I was like, okay, I'm gonna spend $100. They're normally like, like 180, $200, and then there's just
Mm-hmm.
like a closeout deal on this one set, and then plus I'm a member of the Nike.com as well, so I got like the extra discount on it and stuff. So it cost me like
Mm-hmm.
$90. So I pulled the trigger on it because I'm
Nice.
like, yeah, I mean, I was looking at the specs and stuff. I was like, it's the same specs as the $200 ones. Like, why are these ones on sale? I think it's just running out of that style, and they're
Right.
trying to sell
Mm-hmm.
them out, right?
That's what happens.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, so it ended up costing me like $90 and I freaking love them. So that's been number one. I have increased overall, not just in a little week, but like it's been pushing me a little bit more. And actually, watching your vlogs has really helped me to push me a little bit
Cool.
more. So I've been speeding up the treadmill a little bit. I have looked into the 5K. I do have to look around a little bit more. So I've been asking some people like where do they go? Because some people that I know that run, you know, half marathons and stuff, and that the 5K is usually in the morning. There's a website that's here. I did look it up and there was nothing posted for June yet. So I'm kind of waiting till February. So as soon as February opens up, because it was like I think they were cut off in May so far on the
Okay.
website that I looked. So February I'll look at that and see what that's gonna look like. I'm still indoors because it's freaking cold. And I know you like to go out there and run in that cold. I'm not built for that right now. In Ukaipa, where I live, I mean, in the morning, it's, 36, 37 degrees. I'm not ready
Mhm.
for that. So,
I don't
uh,
blame you.
yeah, probably March is like late February, early March is my plan right now. So, I am setting up a plan. I did run track, so I can set up my own kind of running program and stuff like that to be
Hmm.
ready to go. But I am setting up to start hitting outdoors probably mid to late February, early March. I'll go outdoors, and then most of my program for the last 3 months leading up to that will be an outdoor program
Hmm.
versus indoor program all the time. So,
I meant to share with you some things
mhm,
that Austin and I found online that are really good, like body taking care of your body. So like different stretches or different like when I first started doing this, we hammered, and we still do, hamstrings, like hamstring contraction and taking care of it. Like those are huge for running. Obviously stretching, but like ankle mobility work, rolling out your foot to release those muscles. Like if this is the bottom of your foot,
mhm.
rolling it out. And if your calf's up here, if you can release some of those muscles and loosen them up, it loosens up your calf, which can,
Ooh,
then you can loosen up your calf. You can loosen up. It's all the chain, right?
yeah.
It's everything's your chain. So things like that, and also like doing like different things with like shins, like for your like the muscles in front of your shins to help
Mhm.
prevent shin splints and help that out. So I'll make sure I send that stuff to you. It's super simple. It takes me like I warm up for 15 minutes, 10-15 minutes before I run usually,
Yeah.
and big difference, and it keeps you healthy. So
Yes. Send that over to me because I know I do have like a ball for like underneath my foot when I had some plantar fasciitis early
mm-hmm,
last year. That the chiropractor gave me. Also
mm-hmm,
ordered some new mats for like my workout area, and with the
nice,
new mats came bands, some new bands and stuff. So because I've
mm-hmm,
always had the bands, but they were like the handled bands, but not the
right,
full, infinity looped band. So
mm-hmm,
I got those now that I can put into my program and stuff like that. So I don't know why. I mean, they've been around forever. I just never pulled the trigger on them because it's like I've got bands, or
yeah,
I've got this. I've got a
mm-hmm,
something similar to it. So why am I
yep,
buying new when I've got something similar to it? But hey,
yeah,
I bought some new mats, some new workout mats, and they came with it. So I'm like, might as well try it out.
that's
So
fun,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, for sure,
Some new
for
toys.
sure.
Speaking of
So
new toys, it's funny that you said if anyone knows you, they know that you love shoes.
yeah,
And
man.
I have a feeling that if you end up like running, like I think you might, you're going to be one of those guys that's got every color
Oh
in
shoot.
every shoe, which is a good thing. Like it's cool because
Yeah.
like there's this guy on TikTok I follow. His name's like Omar Runs Napa, and he does. I love his TikToks. They're super short. Just it's him like putting his clothes on, stretching, running, and then he goes, "Oh yeah, baby, let's go!" Like they're super
Uh-huh.
quick, and I enjoy them. Like it's like it makes me smile because like he's having fun. Like that's how it
Yeah.
should be. You should have fun.
Yeah.
But you're gonna be that guy that's got all the different colors, and that's gonna be cool. If
Oh
you
man.
That'll be
It's
cool.
it's funny because when I put on the Pegasus,
Mm-hmm.
they're so comfortable. I'm like, man, I need these for like walking around, but I'm kind of nervous
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, then my feet's always gonna be under that type of cushion like
Oh,
all the time,
100%.
So that's the only thing that kind of makes me nervous. But you're talking about my shoes, yeah, because I mean, I love Jordans. And so, I probably have 10 pairs of Jordans and I love Air Maxes and probably have like 10 pairs of Air Maxes. And now I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh shoot, let me look at all these different color cutaways for the Pegasus. And I'm like, Do I really want to do that to myself? You know, you know,
Right.
my golf shoes, I have 10 different pairs of golf shoes. And so it's just
Yep.
like, it's constantly, yeah, man. There's only a couple of things that like I truly, truly love. Like I want my car to be nice. Like I always want to
Mm-hmm.
have like a nice car, and
Mm-hmm.
I always want to have nice shoes. You know,
Yep.
everything else I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean,
You've always been that way.
yeah, it's like, you know, sweatshirt and baggy jeans. That's like my favorite thing in the world to wear is like some baggy
Mm-hmm.
jeans and sweatshirt. But you better darn well know that my shoes are going to be clean, right?
Right.
Like, and they're going to be something different that people, you know, it's not that they're not readily accessible, but it's something that most people wouldn't wear. Like I wear pink and
Mm-hmm.
black shoes, you
Yep.
know, like I custom ordered pink and blue Air Force Ones. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
Those are cool.
yes, it's just like I always want something that's a little bit different that people don't normally wear.
Mm-hmm.
And even on my golf stuff, like my you know, my putter grip, I use a Super Stroke. It's a pink Super Stroke grip,
Mm-hmm.
right? You know, my golf towel, I have pink towels. Like I have the Joker head cover, like something
Yeah.
that's like flash or a little bit of flair, you
Yeah.
know, and
'Cause,
I've
I mean,
always
that's
been
your
like
thing.
that.
You've
Yeah.
always got the swagger. Like even back in the day, you know, when we were, you know, you were younger and, you know, we were like what 8, 9 years old, and you still had the Air Force Ones. You had the all whites. You had all white with the baby blue
The baby
swoosh,
blue.
and then I think you had some. I think you had some red ones too. I
Yeah,
want to, if
man.
I remember right. Like you loved the Air Force Ones,
Yep.
Nike Shocks. That was the other thing you had. You had a
I
lot.
used to love
You had
Nike
like,
Shocks. Yep.
oh man, I wish they were still around the way they were because those
Yeah.
were sweet. You had
Yeah.
like 3 pairs of Nike Shocks. Like
Mhm.
you're a creature of habit. So I think
Yeah, man.
if you do it, if you get into this, you're gonna get into
Oh shoot.
another shoe line to be able to.
Oh shoot.
But yeah, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Oh man. Hey,
But no doubt.
all right, dude. Well, I mean, this is part one of two. We're doing a little quick check-in before Hyrox. That's like the main thing overall.
Yes,
And
sir.
you know, and then we'll come on back and we'll talk a little bit about the results.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think they're gonna be bad.
Either.
Yeah, because you're ready to go. I mean, buddy, I've seen you on the videos, I've seen you on the vlogs, I've seen you, you know, putting in that work. I've seen the other little shorts that are on your little reels and everything else that are on
Mm-hmm.
Instagram and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Bro, you're ready to go.
I'm
Right?
ready, man.
Yeah.
The training's done.
Yeah,
I've
man.
done what I can do. It's just time to show up and have fun with it. So
Absolutely. All right. So the first part of the episode that you guys are listening to was actually recorded on January 30th. The second part of the episode is now on February 6th. It's a perfect timing to follow up with Gabriel on his Hyrox event. So let's dive in and see how it all went. Hey, and we're back. Still in season 3. We're following up and getting caught up with Gabriel. Hey, man.
hello there.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
Oh, bro, I'm doing excellent. Excellent. We're going to get into it here real quick, but I know that you're feeling great. I'm still on the high of
Yeah.
being your dad and coming off of Hyrox. And that's why we're coming back right now, is we're talking about Hyrox.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to give you my point of view a little bit. But
Yeah.
first, of course, man, how are you doing? How are you feeling coming away from Vegas Hyrox?
Oh man, it was a lot of fun. And like you just said, we'll get into kind of the specifics of everything, but I think the whirlwind of time, you know, I was there for 36-ish hours is about kind of how it went. So it went fast. I landed, we got coffee, and the next thing I knew, I was on a plane back home.
Yeah, it was that
picked me up.
fast.
So it was really fast. So that was awesome. It was good to see you guys. You know, Sissy and Uncle D there, Robbie being there. You know, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was great. Like you said, it was good to see your sissy and my sister and your Uncle D, and you know, just spending the day with them and everything else,
Mhm.
and spending the day with you and like having breakfast and that's just kind of hanging out and stuff. That was a lot of fun. You
Yes,
know,
I
we had a
agree.
lot of fun. Yeah, and very relaxing and just kind of taking it easy type of thing. I don't know how you are feeling, nerves on the inside of just like anticipation. You on the outside, you look like you were cool, calm, and collected, but how are you feeling on the inside that day?
The day before, you know, while we were doing stuff and walking around, I actually felt great. I felt
Mm-hmm.
fine. Um, just honestly, I think you just said it best. Is I really enjoyed that day where we kind of just walked around and we just hung out and laughed all day and talking and just just enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I think that was a lot of fun, and it just kind of kept it easy going. And
Yeah, absolutely. Kept it really relaxed overall. We did get to watch you compete. Okay.
hmm
And dude, you were a badass out there. I
thank
have
you.
to say, and I'm not talking about just me being your dad. I'm talking about me watching Robbie and the people that he competed against on Saturday night, which was absolutely great. Shout out to Rob Dog.
Yeah, man.
Dude, he was hurting, right? I mean,
hmm
the cramping that he was having, the left knee was bothering him. He's in the
Yeah.
rows saying, I can barely run, but he's pushing through. Inspirational,
Yeah.
absolutely inspirational. And then to see him still interacting with like us, his family, his crew that was there, that was giving him
hmm
support and all of that stuff, and still being himself as much as he could out there, even though I know that he was in pain.
Yeah, man. He after he did the I want to say the lunges,
Mm-hmm.
um I just like I went off to the side, and we were going to start making our way towards the wall balls, and I just felt like my eyes like starting to get like not watery. I wasn't going to cry or anything, but I just
Yeah.
the race alone already is hard. Like
Yeah.
it's taxing and it's really hard. And the fact that he just was gritting it with the pain and some of the other things, like it just makes you like really acknowledge it and appreciate it, and just know that you got to be tough to push through like that,
Yeah, man.
and to just go through and just finish strong
Yeah.
on a day like that.
Yeah. Both physically tough and mentally tough,
Yeah.
right? I mean, because
Yeah.
I saw in his eyes a couple of times, like, like not that he was going to quit, but like he was hurting, right? I
hmm
mean, you could just see that look, like that pain there. And honestly, like when he was doing the lunges, whew, man, I was
hmm
feeling for him because it just seemed like every knee bend on that left knee and then trying to push up was a wobble. The right
yeah.
seemed like it was okay, but that left one and trying to push up off the left was a little bit of a wobble every single time. And so to see him, gut that out was absolutely amazing.
Yes, I agree with you 100%. It's grueling, it's taxing, like you said, mentally to just push through. It's a lot. It asks a lot of you in such a
Yes,
short amount of time.
for sure, for sure. So, speaking of time, let's talk about your time. What was your time overall in the event?
1 hour and 14 minutes, which and I competed in the opens men, so it's not quite as heavy of the weight that I know I'm capable of, but I wanted to introduce myself into the sport slowly and make my way up. So, with that being said, I am uber proud of that time. When I did the doubles event with Isaiah, I got it. We both got an hour and 6 minutes, and that was also with the same weight that I used there. When we did that, I didn't really know what expectations to put on it, and I
Mm-hmm.
almost didn't want to put expectations on it. But I also wanted to like just not challenge myself, because where's the inner competitor in me is like, oh, whatever. So I went into it with the thought process to be somewhere in the 120 to 130 range.
Yeah.
And I remember I didn't look at my watch or the clocks that were around until about a half hour in, and I was like, oh, like I'm making pretty good time right now. Like I was like, I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah.
And I didn't really keep a time on it. I didn't want to. I didn't want to put the expectations on there. But 1 hour, 14 minutes. And I was looking at it, and this is kind of at the end of my notes that I had. Guess how far outside of the top 10 in my age group that I was?
Hmm. So you were outside the top 10
In my age group,
in your
yeah,
age
not
group.
not overall in the open division, but
Okay.
just in my age group.
You it felt like you were moving pretty quick. So I'm gonna say you were in the top 15, 20 max.
I don't know. I can't see that far, but
Okay.
I was 2.5 minutes outside of placing in the top 10 for my age group.
Oh, really? Okay.
And if you had to choose two things that you saw
Mm-hmm.
where I could have made up the 2.5 minutes, what would you say
Well, the
they were?
first thing would be sled pull
Big time.
because I honestly think you lost 2 to 3 minutes on sled pull with a fault that you
Yep.
had. You pulled when you stepped on the line, and
Mm-hmm.
you were almost there, and they moved that sled all the way back to the middle of
Mm-hmm.
the area, and the judge that moved it was struggling to get it into a spot. Like
Yeah.
he was having a hard time getting it and slowed it down. I think it would have probably been better for them to just have you stand there and not be able to do something for like 30 seconds. That
Yeah.
probably would have been more beneficial, because they were talking to you about the fault number one, and then they moved it, and the judge struggled to move it. And I think you really lost 3 minutes right there.
Yeah. I would agree with you. That and we'll get into it, but that really wasn't. I wasn't that mad, and I told you
Yeah.
after the race I wasn't that mad at it because, to be honest, I didn't practice it
Yeah.
in my training as often as I probably should have because, like I told you, I don't have that rope or
Yeah.
I don't have something like that available at my gym, so I'm gonna have to get one and start practicing the movement a little bit more. I just go off of what I see on YouTube. I tried to execute it, but kind of what. Let's talk about the pre-race stuff.
Sure.
The day before, and I felt fine. We were walking around, we were talking, we were laughing, just like we talked about. But when I went to sleep, I woke up at like 3:30 in the morning,
Mm-hmm.
and I was up. I was up. I like read my book. I was on my Kindle trying to hang out, and then uh, the next thing I know, I was like, it was like you were up, and I'm like, oh man, like just the queasiness in my stomach. And when you guys see my YouTube video, make sure you'll see it and you'll hear it in my voice when I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
in the microphone pre-race. And I just never felt like that in my life. I've
Yeah.
never felt like that about anything, about giving a presentation in school, about in baseball, nothing. I've never felt that weird queasy feeling
Mm-hmm.
and like I want to throw up, and I had the poops.
Yeah.
Like the nervous poops.
Yeah.
So the nerves were 100% there. Could you tell that I was nervous?
Well, when we were at the convention center, you did talk to me about it. I could
Mm-hmm.
tell because you were fidgety, and you're very calm and collected most of the time, and I didn't want to bring up anything and say anything to you about it, like, hey, you need to chill out or you need to relax, because it has to be your own, right? It's your own mental
Mm-hmm.
thing. But until you said to me, hey, like, I've never felt this nervous or semi scared ever, when I
Mm-hmm.
played baseball or anything. Like, I'm just, and then I talked to you about how ultimate respect I have for people like yourself, like Robbie, who get out there and they put themselves out on the line when you're doing something individually. Same thing with running track. When you go out there and you step out on the track, like, I mean, you're on an island all by
Mm-hmm.
yourself, right? There's nobody else there to help you. Wrestling, kind of the same thing. You
Mm-hmm.
step out there onto the mat. I mean, you're out there on an island all by yourself, and you really don't know how good your competitors are.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where those nerves come in, and your legs feel a little rubbery, and it feels like you can't stop going to the bathroom. And,
Yeah. Yep.
so yeah, man, I've been there before. When I was running track, I definitely have felt like that, so I could empathize with how you were
Yeah.
feeling.
Absolutely. And I remember you saying something like that. And I think a lot of it was I just needed to acknowledge it to kind of
Mm-hmm.
let it go. And then it was perfect timing because, finally when I was stretching, I'm like, all right, let's get loosened up. Let's start moving around. And once I started moving around, I was feeling a little bit better. Fast forward, give you a hug. You go on your way to the spectator area. I go into the warm up area. I get a good warm up in. I'm feeling solid. And next thing you know, they put you into this tunnel. It's the Red Bull Start Tunnel.
Yeah.
You go in there and you're with 15, 20 other guys in there, and this girl's in there, and she was giving us like a pep talk, like, oh, who's done this before, who has this for blah blah blah. Like, it was really cool. And she led us through a breathing exercises, and I thought that was really cool. But I was still feeling like the nerves and everything, and my heart rate was jacked up because I'm like, all right, like it's time to see what you can do,
Yeah.
by yourself. And I made my way to the front of the line so I could get out, kind of in front. And there was about 30 seconds left, and there's a clock in there, and I hit my knees, Like I got all the way down on my knees. I bowed my head and I said a prayer, about a
Mm-hmm.
15, 20 second prayer. And when I got up, everything just kind of washed away. I was like,
Hey,
and then I put my toe on the behind the white line. I was like, all right, let's go.
let's go.
And I was like ready, like immediate. It was almost like an immediate thing. I said the prayer. I stood up. I put my foot on the line, and then I looked up, and it was like whew, gone. I was like,
Yeah.
all right, let's go. And we took off, and I don't know if you could tell, but like I came out there, and I came out hot. I was like, let's just go.
You
Let's get
came
out in
out
front.
fast at the gate. Yep.
Yep. So, and that first time running time really wasn't that fast. I think it was like 4:29, which
Mm-hmm.
is pretty good for me. 4:29, and going into the ski erg, you guys saw like I didn't overdo it.
No.
I don't think I underdid it. I just kind of trusted my training there. I worked a lot on that machine, just trusting using my core, getting after it. And the next thing I knew, I ran, and that run after the ski erg was my best one, a
Yeah.
4:08,
You were very
which
smooth. You were very smooth in the ski erg.
hmm
And I don't know if you know this or not, but you were third or fourth coming into the ski erg, and you were the first one out.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah. Yeah. You were the first one out after that.
Okay. Okay. See, and that was the thing is I didn't even realize that. What I did, the dude to my left who went next to me, I got in there, and then the dude to my left came in. He's like, you starting fast, huh? Like, like trying to, he's like, you going fast? And I was like, I didn't even answer him. I was just like, all right, let me stay focused.
Yeah.
So after that, as we already know, after you do a functional fitness station, which in this case was a skier, you do a 1K and then you do another
Mm-hmm.
station. So I went to the sled push. And I told you the night before when we were watching Robbie, I said, here's my plan, Dad. I'm going to do a half length down, take a
Yes.
3 second break, and then I'm going to do
Yes.
the other half length, and then I'm going to do it both times. So you got to go down and back twice.
Yes.
Well, the sled felt light when I got up there. I
Mm-hmm.
pushed it all the way down, turned around, took a 2 second, 3 second break, pushed it all the way back. And then I was like, whew, my heart rate was jacked at that point. I'm like, oh crap.
You
Like,
pushed
so
it
I went,
down and back with ease on that way. Yes.
yeah, yeah. And by the time it was time for the second go around, my legs were like fried. Like I was like, oh my gosh. Like I just emptied so much of my tank right there.
Mm-hmm.
And my chest was on fire, like everything was hurting. But I by the time I got through with it, I honestly felt like my chest was more cooked than my legs were, even though my legs were tired.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I just expended so much energy.
Like
Um,
inside, like you were out of breath. Is that what it was?
yes, like
Okay.
I was trying to catch my breath. Which honestly think, which is why I went into the sled pull so
Mm-hmm.
slow.
Yeah.
Like I felt like I didn't have any like vigor in there
Mm-hmm.
because number one, like I told you, I didn't practice it that much. But number two, I was so like discombobulated with how taxed I was from the sled push that it kind of bled into getting the penalty, and it slowed me. Like I didn't run across to the other side of the rope. I walked so I could catch my breath for a second. I
Yeah.
lost a lot of time on that sled pull. So, but
Yeah.
definitely a lesson learned. And I know we were talking about that already, but and then even after the sled pull, I felt
Mm-hmm.
gassed again. I
Okay.
felt gassed again. I actually, and that was one of my slower times throughout the race, was a 4:53
Mm-hmm.
on the run. I think it was my third slowest, but like early on, I should have had more in the tank.
Yeah.
And then going into burpee broad jumps, really proud of how I did those. I just, it's like I told you, man. As soon as I went there, all I did was I started and I kept my head down and I went, and I was like, at some point this is gonna end. And then
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn around and then I'm gonna do it again. At some point that part's gonna end.
Yeah.
So that's really all I was looking to do is get down and back and you know, not miss a beat and try to keep a rhythm.
So let me interrupt you here just a little bit on the burpee
Mm-hmm.
broad jumps. I myself had a little bit of a emotional experience.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you came in and you killed burpee broad jump. So your broad jump was like you were jumping over a box at a time, and most people could not do that. I think that was one of the things um, that actually helped, you like pick up time, right? You went past this guy and he laid on the floor. He was dead.
Mm-hmm.
And I was putting like the camera away and stuff. And I'm like, I just talked to this guy. I'm like, come on, buddy, get up. You got it. You got it. You're halfway there. Come on, come on. Like that. And he
Mm-hmm.
looks over at me and like he got up off the ground and he gave me like a thumbs up.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kept going. And I'm like, come on, man, couple more, couple more. And you were like already on the other side on the line and getting ready to come back down.
Mm-hmm.
And he got there. And as he's coming back and as you go past, he just mouths to me like, thank you. Like he just, like he
Oh
looks at
man.
me. Oh my gosh. I was like, don't know who this guy is,
Mm-hmm.
at all. But that was the environment that we were in, was
Yeah.
that like everybody is there to just, obviously do their best when they're competing, but
Mm-hmm.
pick each other up, as
Yes.
well. And nobody was
Absolutely.
there to beat anybody down. Everybody there was very uplifting. And that was between the music and the energy and the people that were watching, the spectators, and the encouragement, and even the competitors, like trying to help each other out and
Mm-hmm.
encourage each other. It's an environment that I never have been in before like that. And that's where I haven't quite committed to you know to doing it, but it's
Mm-hmm.
something that, I mean, really intrigues me to want to try, because it's something that you can't even explain it until you're in it,
Yeah.
right? There's no feeling has ever felt like that, that I've done. And I've played games in front of 8,000, 10,000 people that it's loud.
Mm-hmm.
I've played games in front of like where the crowd is like right on top of you, is what it feels like, but I've never felt like that environment before. And shout out to that guy, whoever he was. I wanted to just let him know, like, I'm proud of him, for getting up
Mm-hmm.
off the deck when it looked like he didn't want to get up anymore, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like a big thing, right?
Yeah. That's awesome, dude. I didn't know that that happened. And you're 100% right. There is a sense of like community and people uplifting each other.
Yeah.
Like when you're doing the event, you'll sometimes just like make eye contact with people because they're right next to you, and they'll just give you like a head nod or like good job, like little things like that. It keeps you going,
Yeah.
and it's so important that I think that's why you feel like you're people come away from it watching it. I think almost like you and Uncle D were talking about, like inspired and
Yeah.
excited because of that environment. It's not just like watching someone that get after it. That's part of it. But the other part is like seeing how many other people around you are just encouraging, and it gives you like that vigor to want to do more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was obviously including yourself, like some ultra fit people, right, that are there. But also, part inspiring to me was older people,
Mm-hmm.
not ultra fit looking people, just wanting to finish,
Yep.
and you're obviously, um, you're not very far away from being like one of the elite athletes of that thing,
Oh,
overall.
whatever.
I don't think you are. I don't think that you're, are you going to be the top guy in the world? No, probably not. Okay. But, but are you very competitive and you're at your peak right now for the next 4 to 5 years to where you can be pretty competitive in that deal?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, absolutely. And so, but to see other people that are, they're 2 hours and 20 minutes, but they're finishing,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, they're walking around the outside because they're gassed and they're done, but they're finishing, or they're doing that burpee and they're getting up and they're only hopping a foot in front,
Yeah.
which is tough. I mean, that makes it very tough, but they're trying to finish. And so that to me is inspiring. And the thing with Uncle D is, like, he said to me when we were talking about it, he's like, I need to get back into the gym. I don't know if it's going to be like this for sure. It's like this, but I used to play
Mhm.
softball. I played basketball, football, all of these things post, high school, post other things, even working out. And he's like, and I haven't been. I recognize I should be doing more. I'm an athlete. These are all
Yeah.
athletes that are here, right?
Yep.
It's like, he's like, these are all athletes and I'm one of them.
Hmm.
So I'm hoping that he does get back into the gym and that that he's doing that because watching you guys out there was freaking awesome, man. It really,
Hmm.
really was. So I
Well,
do have a
thank
couple of
you.
questions. I have a couple of questions for you about the race. And,
Yes.
I touched on them a little bit when we were heading out to lunch, but um, one of the things that your sissy and I were like, we're like, oh, here comes Gabriel again, quickly.
Hmm.
So um, did you notice that you were kind of way out in front of like the grouping that you were in? Did you
You
notice that at
know,
all?
you had mentioned it,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't. I just kind of was rolling because of how that race works. They
Mm-hmm.
go in waves, so
Yes.
you'll just be in like the mess of what you're doing, and you don't even look to see who at least I don't, not in this
Yeah.
setting, not yet. I'm not looking to my left and right to be like, where's that guy at, or how's this going. I just go, and I didn't even realize that I was, like you told me, like a station or two, and I remember leaving, going out,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw someone that I started with. I was like, oh, like that guy. I lapped that guy because
Yeah.
he's going in, right,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm catching up to him. He's going in to probably do what I just did or something like that. So that's the only time it ever came to mind.
Yeah. Yeah. You were, I think by the third or fourth station, um, you were definitely out in front of your wave of people that
Hmm.
you were grouped up with. And, so I didn't know if you had noticed it at all or not when you were kind of coming around. But yeah, man, you definitely finished, I think like at least 10 minutes in front of everybody else that was, kind of in your grouping
Hmm.
that went out. So very cool on that
Interesting.
end.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah. Like we talked about, your burpee broad jumps were absolutely awesome. Your rowing, that was really cool because you were like right there. And I think we talked about it a little bit. You got to get a little bit of coaching from Robbie in the middle of
Hmm.
it. Um, you got to mentally relax for a minute and just kind of interact with your family and stuff as we were there watching you and encouraging you. So that definitely helped out, I'm sure, a lot.
Yeah, it did. It was nice to just like take a second because I think at that point, like it was burpee broad jumps, and then run. And after that run, after burpee broad jumps, was a 4:55, which is one of my slower ones as well.
Mm-hmm.
But along the way, I think I remember Robbie saying like, "Catch your breath here, catch your breath."
Yeah.
So like on my run, I kind of slowed down just a little bit. I was like, "All right, let me catch my breath." And then I get into the rowing station. You guys are all there, and it's like I get to just talk to you for a minute.
Yeah.
Take a load off, and I'm out there competing. I wasn't trying to light the world on fire or trying to beat the person next to me. I was just like, oh, this is nice to talk to you guys for a second.
Yeah, just
And
so
then
smooth, man. You were smooth with
yeah,
the rowing.
and I don't know if you heard Robbie, but at some point he was like, all right, refocus. And I was like, all
Yeah.
right, yeah. Like on the last like 250 meters, it's like he knew like I was coming up on the end, like the
Yeah.
last 250, 300. I was like, all right, let me refocus. Let me get into this. And then, but when he said that, I started to get my form that I'd been practicing and
Mm-hmm.
finish strong on that, and to go into the last three stations.
Oh yeah, he knew because when you were going through in about the station 3 or station 4, he said to me, he's like he's on pace for like a minute or an hour 10, an hour 12, which is fantastic. And
Mm-hmm.
so, and then you end up coming in at an hour and 14, but it was that penalty that cost you those
Yeah, big time.
2 or 3 minutes. But yeah, he was like, man, he's kicking butt. He's at least on an hour 10 pace. And so freaking awesome, man. It was really, really awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, I think the last thing I wanted to kind of talk about, number one,
Mm-hmm.
farmer carries. Those were fun.
Yeah.
My traps were on fire, but I didn't drop them. I didn't put them down. I did a nice little rocking motion to kind of keep me going because I didn't. My legs were a little tired to kind of trot with them.
Yeah.
Sandbag lunges. My quads were trying to they were trying to cramp on me. They were
Mm-hmm.
cramping on me.
Yeah.
I noticed that whenever I stood up and if I locked out my like my knee, the quad would cramp.
Mm.
So it's almost like I had
Mm.
to keep them bent, but that also meant that they just had to consistently burn,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't cramp. It was like burn, 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 but that was the only way I could get them not cramp.
Yeah.
And then that was my slowest run after the lunges. Number one, it's the last run,
Yeah.
and it's after lunges, and you're tired, and you're going into wall ball, so you're kind of trying to save some energy.
Yeah.
I think that's also where I fell apart a little bit. Was at the end on the wall balls. I hit the first 35 really smooth,
Mm-hmm.
and the 40 reps from 35 to 75 were mental hell. I can't remember like being in that big of a pain cave, like mentally. Like I
Yeah.
was just like my shoulders would like give out on me, or I'd get tired, or like my heart felt like it was gonna like I felt like I was gonna throw up my heart. Like I couldn't catch my breath. I couldn't find a rhythm. Like so for those 40 reps, it was just like I hated it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. And I didn't even realize how much time I really gave to that station at the end.
Yeah.
And but we finished strong. The last 25 I did all in a row. I found a rhythm. You know, at the last 75 to 100, man, I found it. And the last, like, I got the 15, and the last 10, I knew I was there because the screen was right in front of me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I really want to just put this ball down, catch my breath, and then I'll go strong at the end. But like, nope, nope. I was
Just
like,
keep
all right,
going.
10, 9, 8, and then next thing you know, I was like 3, 2, 1, and I was like, oh, I'm done. And you know, you run down to the end, you make it, and I like laid on the ground, and I was like, my heart was just doom, 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 doom. Like I had to lay there for a second. I wasn't even trying to be dramatic. I was like, let me catch my breath. Like this is, but I was really happy and proud of myself there
Yeah,
at the
man.
end.
We were all very proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was my favorite part was having you guys all there for sure.
it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, it's still, I'm still very excited to even talk about it, even though it's been a couple of days
Mhm.
already. And yeah, man, it's just so much fun. It was,
Yeah.
yeah, like I said, the environment was inspirational. You were inspirational. So I appreciate it. I appreciate that I got a chance to go.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely thank you for being there and for being down to have that whirlwind of a 36 hours. And shout out to you. You got up early in the morning, drove 3.5 4 hours to Vegas, spent all day walking around, then you went and supported Robbie, and then you got a little bit of sleep, and then you went and supported me first thing, and then you drove 3.5 4 hours home. Shout out to Uncle D and Sissy. They drove like almost 5 hours. They did the same thing. Same thing. They got up, they did everything, they supported both of us, and they drove home. There's your weekend.
Yeah, man.
So also shout out to Robbie for, it's number one. He went late at night on Saturday, like at like 7:40, 7:45. And by the time you get done and everything and say what's up to everyone, it's 9:30. By the time you get to the hotel room, it's 10 o'clock. And he went out, and then he still went there the next morning and supported. And you're in
Yeah, man.
Vegas. You probably don't always want to get up early. So shout
Yeah,
out
for
to
sure.
him, and shout out his girlfriend for showing up as well. So that was a lot of fun. And then I wanted to give one more shout out to
Sure.
Austin, Maine. He has helped me with my nutrition, with my workout program, and it's cool to know that you can trust someone to do right by you
Hmm.
and who takes really good care of you. There's a lot of thought that goes into what he does for me. It's not just like here's a plain Jane plan that I can use for everybody. Like, no, this what he has done for me from September, October time to now has been completely individualized to help me and understand my goals and understand how my body works and how I move and everything. And not just physically, mentally and psychologically, everything. So big shout out to him for helping me get here. I'm excited to keep working with him and kind of see where I can take this over the next several years if I continue to love it as much as I do right now. So
Yeah, man. Yeah. Sounds good. When can we get Austin on the podcast? That's the dude right now.
yes, he's already agreed to come on here and talk to us, and he's really excited to do so.
Okay.
I think well, I'll have to talk to him and see what that looks like, and definitely get him on here. I think people would like to hear from him.
All right, man. Well, let's wrap it up. I know you've got another competition that's coming up here pretty quick. So when is
5
that
weeks.
happening?
5 weeks. If 5 weeks from Saturday, February 8th, that'll be it. So we're at a slow. This week is a kind of a deload week. Take some volume down, but we're slowly going to climb and climb and climb. We're going to hit peak training volume again for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then we'll taper off week of and get ready to go into Houston. I have a goal of beating my time because I think I'm capable of it. And I think I just got to run my race. I don't have to do anything crazy. I don't have to go harder than I did before. I just need to just continue to get these reps, continue to practice, and have these competitions under my belt so that I can know where I'm deficient, where I'm not. And I'm just excited to get after it. Lauren will be there this time.
Hey.
I think Angela will be there, so it'll be
Hey.
good. I'll have another support crew. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah,
We
all
got
right,
to
kiddo.
recap it. I said it was going to be like 20 minutes, and here we are over a half hour later talking.
Yeah, for sure. But all right, man. Sounds good. And we'll get with you here pretty soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Love you.
All right. I love you too.